All right, everyone, welcome back. It's good to have our core team back together and joined by Brad Crispin, Ryan Graves, Jay Stratton. I'm anxious to see the data and get your eyes on what we've recently discovered.
I know that Pete Kelsey is anxious to share the findings from those LiDAR surveys. We've got him on video call. Hello, Pete.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for jumping on with us. Well, we're all in suspense.
Sure. We'll go to the terrestrial laser scanning first. We've got data out to the northeast, and it's probably going to look really familiar.
Yeah, Pete, I can see that there's structure all around. You can see lines off in the distance that go all the way around the triangle. So, Pete, do those lines appear looking straight up?
Travis, this is looking straight up from that terrestrial laser scan.
Oh, my goodness. So what we're seeing now is the same data that we got from the data set prior to this that suggests there's an invisible cone surrounding the triangle that the LiDAR is perceiving.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes, and now we've seen it twice.
Wow.
That's key.
A lot like some invisible barrier.
Or field,
Yeah.
some type of maybe a force field over the ranch.
So what in the world are we seeing here?
Earlier this year, when we first detected the huge cone, a laser beam that was projected straight up from the triangle was stopped by something that we couldn't see 2,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, you really don't see that unless it's hitting some sort of mass.
The same exact height of the cone. So Brandon's suggestion of it being some kind of force field isn't crazy. But since we don't have that technology, then what the hell could it be?
So there is potentially some correlation with some data that we're seeing at the same time.
From your LiDAR drone?
Yep, same area.
What you're looking at here on the screen is some data that was collected in real time using a GPS tracking unit as Jim was flying his LiDAR-enabled drone through a pattern that we sometimes refer to as the InNOut Pattern, based on that video footage that we saw last year from the helicopter, where it appeared that something went into the mesa over here and came out of the mesa over in this area.
One of the most insane events that our team has documented was in 2022. A camera on the helicopter captured images of a UAP flying into the mesa in the east field, and then out the other side a couple seconds later as it continued right toward the triangle. Since then, Jim Royston has flown his LiDAR drone along that so-called in and out path numerous times and repeatedly experienced strange voids in his aerial GPS data, just like the drone was momentarily disappearing.
Is this gap in the data right here?
Down by the end point?
Yes,
So it happened again the other night?
exactly.
Ian, I think what's important is the repeatability, because this wasn't one case you're looking at. Multiple times as we come through that area, we lose GPS. And probably 40 flights over
Yep.
the whole summer that we did.
At least, right?
Yes, we have. These are 40 instrumented drone flights where, at the very least, we have a GPS sensor that goes silent. And the interesting thing, I think the best way,
Is to overlay them, right?
yep, wait till you see this. I have a few of those drone flights illustrated here, and look at the pattern that emerges.
Stunning.
Here's a wonderful example where we see repeatability. You know, what we're seeing here are repeated interruptions in data, the biggest of which is on the end point.
Yeah. And that's very close to the anomaly area that we saw in the LiDAR data.
Right.
Yeah.
The more of this stuff I see, the less I understand it.
Wow.
Well, and how would that be connected to the UFOs, to the unidentified aerial phenomena that we've captured on camera and seen even with our own eyes? is there some type of interstellar portal or some other phenomena happening?
Well, if there's a doorway there, a portal, a wormhole, whatever you want to, it's got to be designed in a way that's not destroying everything around us, clearly, so it's more advanced than the physics we have right now. But in order to make the doorway transition into normal space, you would have bends in space and time.
And we did measure a time anomaly above the triangle with Lunason last year.
Yeah. Or go for launch.
Off it goes.
In 2022, a company called Lunason conducted a radar scan using a weather balloon more than 10,000 feet above the triangle and got stunning results.
We did have some clock anomalies of the triangle. I've never seen any other data set that resembles this. We lost a quarter second of time.
Really? For data like this, that's huge.
Exactly.
According to scientists such as Albert Einstein, portal-like phenomena would not only resemble the ring-like anomalies we've detected on the ranch, but could also create instantaneous shifts in time. So, could something like a portal or wormhole explain the cone and the ring-like anomalies? Is that why we've detected voids in our GPS scans? And could that explain how a UAP could fly through a mesa that is composed of solid rock? I don't know, but this is all incredible data.
This is frontier science discovery.
Wow. So we have so much data, it's going to be weeks and months of analyzing this data, Eric.
Yeah. You better believe I'm going to dive into this. You know, with Pete's help, I think we're going to be able to peel back these very different layers that we're seeing. You know, the above ground, the below ground. And I'm sure we'll be coming back to the table to talk about more results like this.
Yep, I agree.
Well, Pete, I can't thank you enough. As usual, you've blown all of our minds. I look forward to connecting again. Thanks for spending some time with us here in the meeting.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks again, Pete.
Bye, Pete.
Well, we have quite a task ahead of us.
When I talk about the work that we're doing, you know, whether it's a given experiment or the investigation as a whole, the data payload is enormous. From data, we get patterns. From patterns, we begin to get understanding. And so I just want to show you the data that we've collected in the form of GPS locations. I'm going to walk you down through the work of just this summer. Watch this. So we have the InNOut experiments that we initially ran. We had rocket launches. Wow. Yes.
This year, every time we conducted helicopter experiments.
Hey guys, do you guys right over the triangle?
Yep. Launched rockets.
Holy crap, look at that thing go.
Or flew drones. Eric would attach GPS devices to them in order to collect data on their flight paths. And incredibly, during nearly every experiment, the GPS data would show anomalies such as missing data or voids. Flight paths that were wildly different from what we saw with our own eyes.
What in the hell is going on?
And even crazy GPS data that ended up underground or inside the mesa.
Okay, so what you're looking at, what you're seeing here, represents but a fraction of the actual data collected.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
That's pretty amazing. That's a lot.
But let me back away from this to give you some perspective on scope and scale. As you can see, it's almost impossible to navigate through this.
It's too much for a single small group of humans to go through and find all of the possible trends and connections. We have more data than you could possibly imagine about this place. It's going to require an artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithm to go through this and find trends. There's no telling what nuggets are in there.
Yep.
We're constantly seeking out and using cutting-edge technology to investigate Skinwalker Ranch, like the AI system called Athena that Jim Royston and Sam DeRizzo of Omnitech are installing on the property. This will help us to better detect phenomena when they happen, and just maybe finally identify exactly what they are.
Turning the algorithms on, that's the next step. This is a big effort, the next step.
Who knows what we'll find?